Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host Mandy, and today I want to talk about a mindset shift that can genuinely transform not just your relationship with others, but also your relationship with yourself. It's the idea of expecting more from yourself than you expect from others. Now, I know that might sound intense, like I'm asking you to be hard on yourself or to never rely on anyone. But really, it's about empowerment, self-leadership, and creating healthier and more fulfilling relationships. When you shift the focus on yourself, you free yourself from potential frustration and disappointment, and you learn to enjoy people for who they naturally are. So, let's dive into why betting on yourself is one of the best investments you can ever make. Let's get into it. Expectations are a part of life, whether it's hoping a friend will remember your birthday, or relying on a colleague to meet a deadline, or expecting your partner to care for you and behave in a certain way, or something as simple as expecting a stranger to hold open the door for you. We all have quite specific expectations of how we think things should be. Now, we have those expectations based on our own values and our blueprint of how the world and people should work. The thing is though, just as you have specific expectations, thoughts and opinions, so do others. People see the world through their own unique lens. Their values, priorities and experiences shape how they show up and shapes what they expect from others. Now, expecting them to act exactly as you would is setting them up for failure and frankly setting yourself up for a lot of frustration. It always helps me to remind myself that just because something is important to me does not give me the right to expect that it should be important to someone else. Really think about that. And it goes both ways, right? Surely they also have things that they truly value that aren't really a big deal to me. Now, I'm not saying you should put up with bad behavior or let people walk all over you. If something truly matters and is really important, communicate it. Be clear about your needs, and if the other person chooses not to accommodate you, that's valuable information, and you can then make a decision about what the relationship will be going forward. However, when it comes to everyday interactions, letting go of rigid expectations can actually really improve your relationships. Instead of fixating on what someone isn't doing, you get to appreciate them for what they naturally are. And it takes so much pressure off and allows the relationship to just breathe and flourish. Another area where it is dangerous to expect more from others than from yourself is when you start to rely on others for your basic needs or for solving general problems in your life. That dependency puts you at a great disadvantage, and it puts so much pressure on the relationship. For you, it often turns into an anxious waiting game where you're hoping they'll be available or willing to help. And when they can't, it can create a lot of discomfort and unnecessary conflict. When you take responsibility for yourself, you avoid that disappointment and tension, and that gives you and your relationship room to breathe. Now, again, just to be clear, this isn't about never relying on others or isolating yourself. It's about where you place the power. It's knowing that your primary focus should be on what you can control, because that's really the only place that you have any power. So instead of hoping for someone to come and save you, you take that position yourself and build yourself into your own knight in shining armor. And then, once you're settled up, the people around you become helpful allies who can help you carry the load, but at the end of the day, you're still the main driver. Also, like I said before, it's not about submitting to or lowering your standards or never voicing your opinion. For example, if you hired a service and they don't meet your expectations, of course you can give feedback and communicate what you need, but ultimately, it's up to them whether they act on it. You have zero control over their response. What you do control is your reaction and the decisions that you make after. Maybe you choose to accept and live with it, or maybe you take your business elsewhere. Marcus Aurelius said, Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. Now, this can be triggering, I know, but that doesn't mean being overly critical or harsh on yourself and never holding others accountable. It's about holding yourself to a high standard while allowing others the freedom to hold themselves to their standard. Placing your energy on what others should be doing is draining and often leads to frustration and loads of disappointment. But when you focus on what you can do, you unlock a sense of agency and confidence. One of the most valuable things you can do for yourself is to build trust in your own abilities. When you expose yourself to challenging situations, even in small steps, you build a portfolio of success, and over time, this builds tremendous confidence. You begin to realize that no matter what life throws at you, you'll be able to handle it somehow. On the flip side, if you always rely on others to save you, life becomes unpredictable and frankly, pretty damn scary. People won't always be available, and they won't always be able to give you what you need and exactly how you need it. Have some compassion. After all, they have their own stuff to deal with too. When you trust yourself, you carry that sense of security with you wherever you go, and you don't have to rely on others to give you a sense of safety and certainty. Now, if you're wondering how to start building this mindset, here are a few ideas you can try. The next time you're tempted to ask someone for help with a problem that maybe isn't that urgent, just stop for a while. Just give yourself a bit more time to figure it out on your own. You might surprise yourself with how much creativity and problem-solving capabilities you have lying dormant within you. That's a discovery that I made many years ago when I used this approach. Also, if something makes you nervous, maybe it's making a phone call or handling a task you would usually pass off, take a deep breath and do it yourself. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but you'll feel so proud and encouraged afterward. Trust me, I used to be in that boat. I'm almost ashamed to say, but ordering a pizza over the phone used to feel like a monumental task for me. Until I started my own business and I had no choice but to get on the phone, and now it's no big deal anymore. So what is something small that you usually give to someone else that you can now face and do yourself? Also, take a moment to reflect on areas where you are currently relying on others. Maybe you're financially dependent on a partner or family member. What small steps can you take to strengthen your financial position? Perhaps it's starting a little side hustle or just learning more about managing money. Maybe you avoid making doctor's appointments because you hate phone calls and you ask your mom to do it all the time. I know some of you are smiling nervously right now. Just go ahead and do it. Even if you get flustered and give your dog's name instead of your own, at least you faced it, and small changes can build enormous confidence over time. And finally, check in with your expectations. Ask yourself, where do I have expectations beyond my control that are causing me frustration and disappointment? Can you let them go or ease up a little bit? Can you maybe change your reaction to them? Or can you recognize that it might not be as important to the other person and that it does not mean that they don't care about you? And just imagine that if you let that go, how much more space you would have to just appreciate them. Letting go of unrealistic expectations frees you from unnecessary disappointment and avoidable tension in your relationships. This episode is not about distrusting others, it's about trusting yourself so that others aren't as likely to disappoint you. It's not about pushing people away or trying to do everything on your own. It's about taking control of your life so you can enjoy people for who they are without needing them to fill every single gap for you. And most importantly, this mindset isn't about settling for less, it's about betting more on yourself. And when you do that, you become more resilient, you trust yourself more, you gain confidence, and you become free. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If this message resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'd also love to hear from you in the comments. What's one area where you want to start expecting more from yourself Or in what way are you going to free your loved ones from strict expectations and allow yourself to just enjoy their positive character traits? I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and until next time, keep betting on yourself and always stay powered by progress. Catch you again in the next one. Bye.